How close is LeBron to claiming, in your all's opinion, to staking a claim as being the greatest ever?
It don't really matter.
Don't matter. Y'all not looking across at that guy and saying this, I know not some intimidation, but just a matter as peers.
No, he can have that title. He just can't have his ring. That's all it goes.
The main event is here, but will it live up to the hype? How much will we see LeBron and Durant go mano-a-mano? Does trash talk always work? Draymond thinks so. And Shaq made some poor lady give him a pedicure. Oh my. The Jump starts now.
Welcome to The Jump, presented by La Quinta.
Welcome indeed to The Jump. I am Rachel Nichols. We are thrilled to be back here in Oakland, California for yet another NBA Finals. I am here with Tracy McGrady, with Steven Jackson, with Brian Windhorst. We got a host of other familiar faces coming up all throughout the rest of the show. Game one, y'all feel it? Y'all feel it?
Ready to go.
These good people are excited. We are excited and ready to go. But first, it is important that we talk about what happened to LeBron James and his family this week. If you are watching the show, you likely already know someone spray painted the N-word across the gate of the house that LeBron owns in L.A. Now, hearing about it yesterday was incredibly jarring, which, of course, was the point. LeBron doesn't live in a neighborhood where there's much graffiti of any kind. I know. I live about 10 minutes away. So clearly, someone went to a lot of trouble to specifically track LeBron down, go into this neighborhood, and time things so the news would break right when the NBA was taking its biggest stage of the year. And LeBron could have responded by just saying he didn't want to talk about it or that he wouldn't comment while the police were still investigating. But instead, he went completely the other way. He and I sat down for an interview yesterday. Take a listen to what he said. This is where you live in the summer?
Yeah.
This is where your children sleep? What did it feel like to you?
I still understand how race plays a huge part in America. And if it takes for someone to spray paint my gate and use that derogatory term, that hate on my family to shed a light on what the real issue is in the world, then so be it. And I think, and I sit here and say that I believe that's why, you know, women like Emmett Till's mom left the casket open and showed everybody in the world what her son went through because of hate, you know. So, you know, I look at it and it hurts and it's like unfortunate, and I got to sit here and I got to talk to my kids about what it means to grow up being an African American, a black kid in America. If that can shed light on the whole situation and we can continue the conversation, because no matter how much money you got, no matter how famous you are, no matter how many people admire you, at the end of the day, being a black man in America is very frightening, and it lets us know that we got so much further to go to be equal in this country.
How did you talk to your kids about this? What happened this week?
Well, the fact that I'm not home kind of hurts me a lot because I can't actually sit there and talk to them face to face. But my wife is going to do a great job of that. My mother's there, my mother-in-law as well. FaceTime is a great thing for me right now as well. So my boys are old enough now, and I just hope they understand that at the end of the day, you have to always shed light on things that may seem like it's at its darkest point.
So that's the lesson LeBron wants his kids and all of us to take away from this, that the dark stuff isn't something you no comment on or hide from. You heard LeBron mention Emmett Till in that clip. Till was just a 14-year-old kid in 1955 when he was kidnapped, beaten, and lynched in Mississippi. As LeBron noted, when it came time to bury Till, his mother demanded that his casket stay open so the world could see what happened. And in turn, that simple act rallied tens of thousands to support the civil rights movement in the South. So what effect will LeBron speaking out have? It's hard to say concretely, although I do know that Google searches for Till skyrocketed 2,000% yesterday in just the 40 minutes after LeBron mentioned him on the podium at Media Day. Sometimes awareness is the most powerful weapon we have against hate. And yesterday, LeBron very purposefully used that power to its fullest. All right, Tracy, I want you to kind of take us into being a star player on your team. All the attention is on you. Something happens off the court. How do you manage something serious in your life with when you know you have to perform on the biggest stage?
Well, first of all, we got to give LeBron all the credit for shedding light on this cowardly act that somebody committed. Secondly, for him to be one of the world's greatest entertainers and getting ready to fulfill a dream that, something he's dreamed about his whole life, and getting ready to entertain the world on the biggest stage of, our game. And this happens. This is the last thing you want to be up there talking about, but I give him credit to really talk about it, shed light on what's taking place, and hopefully, something good could come out of this. It's just sad that we're here in 2017 and we're still dealing with racism, we're dealing with discrimination. Like, that's not what, we want to be going through in these days.
As a black man, we all stereotype. We definitely stereotype. To me, in my career, I did things to fit that stereotype. We talking about a guy who's done everything the right way, on and off the court. LeBron doesn't have a scratch on his resume. So for him to still deal with it, you have to understand that it's real. There's no room for it today, but for a guy like LeBron who's done everything the right way and he's still dealing with it, if you didn't know it was real, you know now.
People who did this made a mistake because they don't realize the power of LeBron and how he can turn it. I didn't know the story of Emmett Till. I was one of the people Googling. LeBron and I went to some of the same schools in the same town. He educated me. He knew, just as he knows always, Rachel, that it wasn't just going to be ESPN watching him yesterday, that it was going to be CNN, that it was going to be the BBC, that it was going to be networks in China. He knew that when he was going to speak about that he was going to be able to reach a lot more people because it is the finals, and he was able to come and bring an education. LeBron ends up being the big-time winner here, not those people who did that.
Typically, discrimination, it permeates in all aspects of life, right? And it really extends in color communities. For this to happen with LeBron, that is frightening for it to happen to LeBron, who lives in an upscale neighborhood.
Right.
That's the thing. I mean, it's not like you say, oh, it's a oh, someone was walking by. Nobody was walking by. This was a very purposeful attack. And, LeBron has had a lot of conversations over the years about his sons. He's got 2 older boys. He's got a young daughter also. And he's told them over and over again, hey, you're LeBron James' son, and that's special when you're at the arena and the lights are on you, or, you're wearing your cool little backpack to school. When you are just walking down the street like any other black male teenager, you are that in that category to a lot of the people who are looking at you. And he has made it clear to them that they are going to have the same struggles a lot of their peers are going to have, and how to deal with that. That is hard for him, he says, to have to tell his own boys, who he loves so much. Right. And he wants to do something about changing it. And I give him a lot of credit for taking that step yet again yesterday.
Yeah, he's right. We have come a long way when you talk about voting rights, immigration, and even, land acquisition. I mean, guys like myself own land these days. But we still have so much farther to go.
Absolutely. So we will continue to keep an eye on that because it will always continue to be an issue. However, we do want to also move on to basketball. So this is the NBA, not the NFL. We can't quite talk matchups the way we would in football. No Josh Norman, Odell Beckham situation where you got these nasty predefined rivalries. But hey, Wizards guard Brandon Jennings, he is still here for it when it comes to wanting to see KD versus LeBron. This was his tweet. I'm just here for LeBron and KD. Can't wait. Don't bring no help. Nothing. The rest of y'all, mind your business. I mean, Stephen, I know you love to see it the way he did. What do you got?
That's what I'm talking about. I'm ready to see these guys compete. I don't want to see help. I want Steph to go at Kyrie. I want all the matchups. This is what I want to see. Everybody's been expecting this is last year. I'm a part of that Warrior family, so I want to see these guys go out there and compete and take this championship. I don't want to see nothing be given. I want
the captain never called for help.
Absolutely not.
I don't need help. I don't need no help.
I go back to 2014 when LeBron had this incredible matchup with Kevin Durant in Miami when he was with the Heat. Durant outplayed him. For the most part, LeBron's won this matchup. Durant put him on roller skates that night, and I thought that night that Durant had maybe passed LeBron, because it reminded me of a time back in 2008 when LeBron played against Kobe head-to-head in a game in L.A., and in the whole fourth quarter, they guard each other, and LeBron just outdid him. And I go, you know what? He's passed him. And you know what? He did. He had passed Kobe by then. People would argue that, but I'm telling you, if you watch that game, you would never doubt it. And I wondered, had Durant passed LeBron a couple years ago, the year he won the MVP?
I'm gonna spoiler alert. The answer is no.
He has not. So I want to know,
but maybe this time.
Is this the moment where that happens?
Big players step up in the finals, man. Let's see.
Well, I mean, you go back to 2012, KD averaged 30 on LeBron at that time, and he shot over 50%.
Yep.
So we're talking about 5 years later, KD is a better player. He's more mature. He has a lot more fighting power behind him.
Ammunition.
I expect KD to play extremely well in these finals, go at LeBron, defend LeBron as well, and try to slow him down because he's 7 foot. He's the longest guy on the court, 7 foot, athletic. He will stand a better chance guarding LeBron than anybody else on their team. And he's going to score 25 to 30 points a night.
You know what's amazing, guys? The last 5 finals MVPs either are won by LeBron or won by the guy who was guarding LeBron. So you got to figure that the MVP might be coming out of the Durant-LeBron matchup in this.
I mean, and this is how I look at it. LeBron is not guarding, Harrison Barnes, who couldn't hit the side of a barn last year. He's guarding KD.
Y'all know I'm a spoiler. Y'all know I'm a spoiler. Did Iguodala really stop him that year? They won, but
he won the MVP.
But LeBron had crazy numbers still.
Yeah, he slowed him down a couple of times.
Okay,
I want to get back to what you're saying, though, Tracy, because Kevin Durant is not just he has more firepower behind him. Offensively, the way those other guys space the floor has literally, we've just never seen it before. So he will have so much more room to operate, even when he himself is firing the ball. And then, yes, when you're talking about who's defending him, LeBron cannot hide defensively the way he has at different times in the past 2 finals, the way he certainly got to in that 2012 series. He is going to be more tired. I'm curious if you could have that chase down block like you had at the end of Game 7. Is he going to have the energy for that at the end of a game, at the end of a long series, when he's got to work so much harder on defense?
And well, when you're talking about, solidifying a legacy for KD, this is a great start for you, bro.
Yeah, and I've guarded KD in the Western Conference Finals. For a quarter, you dead tired trying to keep up with him, so it's going to be hard for LeBron.
4 quarters. There we go. Well, Brian, I want to ask you, we're going to lose you at the end of the segment, so I want to get it in first. What is your key to the game tonight?
Keep an eye on Kevin Love. Kevin Love was a non-factor in the finals last year. 8 points, 7 rebounds. He had a concussion. There was a factor to it. He is coming off the finest series of his career. 23 points and 12 rebounds against the Celtics. Now, the Celtics aren't the Warriors. Everybody knows this. But if Kevin Love can be a factor, which he hasn't been against the Warriors in the past, that could be a real difference maker. And I feel like we're going to find out tonight in Game 1 whether or not that's possible.
Excellent. All right. Well, we will see you over at the arena. We're going to have another one of our NBA insiders pop into Brian's seat in a moment. But first, we want to tease you a little bit of what we're going to be talking about. The Warriors super team. Are they going to stay super? Kevin Durant is going to have something to say about that. This is good, right? You guys want to hear that? All right. We're going to go to break. Come back and join us.
The Jump is presented by La Quinta. Book at LQ.com and win at business. And in part by New to The Jump. Presented by La Quinta.
Welcome back to The Jump. We are live from Oakland, right across from Oracle. We are at Lake Chalet, and we have been joined by the one and only NBA insider, Miss Ramona Shelburne. Very nice, very nice. Now, we got to break down. Y'all are going to want to hear this, I promise you. We got to break down a story that Ramona was working on with Chris Haynes. You guys broke the news last night that while Kevin Durant, he's eligible to take a max extension this offseason, he is actually willing to take less money right now. So the Warriors will have a much better chance at re-signing guys like Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston, keeping this super team together. So can you break down the mechanics of how it works and how much... I want to know how much money Katie's really giving up.
It's like $4 million. I mean, I don't know. I think that's a lot of money.
Always.
Listen here, man.
Let
me tell you.
It's in principle. Like, okay, for you and I, $4 million is a lot of money. I guess maybe not for you over there.
Money, man. Let the money, man.
Depending on who the player is, $4 million is a lot of money. I'm telling you, for KD, $4 million ain't a lot of money. KD making 30-something million off the court.
And you make it back up with all the endorsements that he has out here, of course.
Exactly.
But for players, oftentimes, it's as much about principle as it is about the actual dollars and cents, right? Like LeBron James knows that he's worth every single cent, and he is not going to leave 1 cent on the table anymore. He did that in Miami, and then we had the issue with Mike Miller where they amnestied him because, I took less for Mike Miller, and then you're going to amnesty him just to save money? Okay, so this is what's interesting with Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant and Steph Curry are both eligible for max extensions this summer. And Steph has been obviously one of the most underpaid superstars in the league for a long time, 4 years, $44 million. That's partially how the Warriors have been able to build this team because Steph was taking less. Not at the time, it wasn't seen
Not on
as taking
purpose,
less.
but yes.
He had bad ankles, and they were taking a risk on him. And so that's how they were able to fill in with the Andre Iguodalas and the Sean Livingston. That's how they had enough money for that. Well, now Steph's eligible, KD's eligible. Steph's going to get his first because he's been taking less to help build this. And Kevin Durant has a choice. If he wants the full max, they can do it. But it means they have to renounce their rights to Sean Livingston and Andre Iguodala and other free agents like JaVale McGee. They have to renounce their rights to them so that he can get his max. If he decides not to, they can use the bird rights on Andre Iguodala and Sean Livingston to re-sign them for a deal that's much more comparable.
Okay, but then can't KD just then supermax the next year? Or max the next
2 years
year?
from then. So he'll have to do another 1+1 to get his supermax. And look, I know this doesn't sound like a big, thick $4 million when he's going to make 35, but it's also long-term security. And there's a great story by Jackie McMullen on ESPN.com today about the injuries that he's had over the course of his career. I mean, for a guy like that to delay getting his 5-year supermax for 2 years, I think is a big deal.
What would you guys do? Would you?
I would definitely take that $4 million cut. I think it's a smart thing to do from KD. It shows that he wants to win. He knows he's going to make a lot of money for the rest of his career, but winning is something that a lot of players should take serious. I'm glad to see one of the best players in the league taking winning serious and taking that cut, keeping that team together. They'll win for a long time. That's smart.
I'll piggyback. Look, I've been on record saying that I didn't like the move for KD to come here in Golden State. It's done. He's in the finals. However, I think it's a very smart move. This team could possibly be in the championship for the next 3 or 4 years if they can keep this team intact. So it's a smart move on his part. It's about winning.
Let's mess up, man. Let's mess up, man.
I come around to it.
Hey,
but
does anybody else in the crowd, anybody have a strength in numbers shirt? Anybody wearing one of those? They always pass those out. That's the shirt that they always pass out at Golden
Right,
State.
strength in numbers.
Strength in numbers. And like as much as this team is about the 4 guys, right? Clay and Draymond and Steph and Kevin. It's also about the strength in numbers. Like, they have a great bench, and they've tried to replenish that with veterans.
I get why that's good for the Warriors. I'm going to call the two of y'all out just a little bit, though, because when we sit here and we talk about players being eligible for the big bag of money, as we like to say, these supermax deals, and I always
don't think you can fit 200 in a bag.
We're not talking about when we had the discussion about DeMarcus Cousins, $30 million. We're talking about $4 million, and we're not talking about somebody that's not getting endorsement deals.
Right.
This guy's making $30 million off the court.
Right. I mean, my question to you guys is always, hey, how much is worth it in terms of I'm giving up X amount of dollars because I want to win and winning is more important to me? And as Ramona says, to me, Ramona, the $4 million, that's a lot of money.
Yes, it
but
is.
for you guys, the difference between what you're basically telling me, the extra $30 million, say that a guy who could stay with his team for that super max money, that's worth staying for instead of going to a winning team. But giving up the $4 million to stay with a winning team, that's okay? That's where the line is? I'm learning where the line is for very rich people.
He's making a lot of money.
That is okay.
It has to be a guy that caliber, though. It has to be a guy that caliber.
All right.
No, I didn't finish the story, though, right? After this. Okay, this is all nice for this year. 2 years from now, though, when Draymond and Clay are all both eligible for supermaxes, things will get very interesting.
Right, you got to choose
The Warriors
between...
may eventually have to choose between those two.
Interesting. But these people do not want to hear about that right now. These people want to hear about their team staying together.
That's a long time from now.
Exactly. And since Draymond is still very much with this team right now, I want to get to a couple comments that he made at Media Day. He was talking about trash talk. He says, oh, no. You think that some people aren't susceptible to trash talk? Take a listen.
Is he susceptible to a lot of trash talk? Can that take him away a little bit?
Everybody's susceptible to that. Don't care who you are.
What kind of question was that?
Not true?
What kind of question was that?
That's our ESPN reporter, Mark.
Man, if I'm playing one-on-one for a championship against my mom, I'm talking trash. That's just a part of the game. I'm trying to win. It's not personal. It's not personal. I'm not disrespecting nobody's family.
So if I get right now and talk while you're trying to talk?
That's a part of it, baby. That's a part of it.
You can still keep going and make a point?
Hey, you got to be able to take it. If you can dish it, you got to be able to. Exactly.
My thing is I want to see if you're really about that.
Right.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I know what I am, and I know what I'm capable of. I'm going to talk it, and I'm going to bring it. I want to see if you can dish it out, accept it, and bring it.
Right.
And a lot of guys
What did you say to Sean
can't.
Bradley there? What did you say on that time?
It's like a boxer pregame. When he's at the press conference, he's doing all that woofing, but when he gets in the ring, he's sleeping. He gets put to sleep.
Don't do all that
You know what I'm
walking and
saying?
don't
Like-
bite. You got to
Right.
bite. You got to bite.
So I'm going to do everything in my power to get in your head and see if I'm going to rattle you.
So you asked why that question was asked.
Yeah.
Word
It's
is,
a part of the game.
Draymond is a champion trash talker. And in the
We've heard it.
I love it. I love
the
it.
last series, he and LaMarcus Aldridge, let's just say, some of the things that he said to LaMarcus Aldridge, I don't even think we could run him like that.
I probably said them before, too.
Listen, I mean,
Okay, so y'all remember when Steven played here. We can see while y'all are talking, I want to see some Steven trash talking highlights.
we as players, we can smell the blood. We can see when you're weak, right? We can see when you're weak. And if you're one of their best players and you can't take that, I'm going to light you up.
Yeah.
Okay,
light you up.
so Steven, when you're doing this, or when we saw the clips traced before of you when you're doing this, you said you can tell who you can light up. Can you tell who is just going to blow it off and who you're not going to be able to get at?
Say, for a perfect example, Dirk is one of the best ever. But game one, we knew we had him. If we
Really?
saw what? We saw it in his eyes. We saw it in his eyes.
Really?
You know, I saw it in his eyes. Yes, I saw it in his eyes. And you know, you got to abuse
man
it.
got 30,000 points.
Right.
Yeah, and one thing about it, I never blocked a 7-footer shot against the backboard after he shot it. I did it to Dirk in the game. When I saw his face, I knew we had him.
Seriously.
That was the one with the 8 versus the 1?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? And if you want your heart back, Dirk, and your game back, I can give it back to you because I still got it in my pocket.
Wow.
Hey, you did.
Look at him.
And with that, there we go. I do want to thank Ramona for being here. We will continue to rotate our insider spot. It is now, however, time for our distant replay. It is brought to you by Garmin and Knicks fans. I'm sorry.
Miller in the backcourt. Here's Miller. Yes. Miller open again. And Reggie Miller in an animated discussion with Spike Lee.
Spencer not getting low enough below the free. Look at this shot.
And he hits it. It's a three-pointer. Again is staring in the direction of, yes, that man. 5 minutes in to the court. Here's Miller again. Miller's in his last 4 shots. Here's Miller for 3. Yes. Wide travel on the team. Miller still hits again. He finishes with 39 points. 25 on the fourth quarter. Only 4 away from an NBA playoff record.
What about Spike Lee?
Spike who? We will see you on Friday.